Chapter 1. The Illusion of Wealth on Wheels. Everywhere you look today, you see people driving cars that look far more expensive than what their actual income would justify. The streets are filled with brand new SUVs, shiny electric vehicles, and luxury sedans with price tags that could buy a small house in some parts of the country. It's as if everyone suddenly became rich overnight. But here's the uncomfortable truth. They didn't. Most of them can't actually afford those cars. They just signed up for years, sometimes nearly a decade, of financial chains disguised as monthly payments. We've built an economy where people don't buy cars anymore. They buy monthly payments. They don't ask how much the car costs. They ask how much they'll owe each month. This small shift in thinking has turned the car market into one of the most profitable debt industries in the modern world. Dealers, banks, and finance companies all understand this psychological game better than most consumers do, and they play it perfectly. When you walk into a dealership, nobody asks what you want to spend. They ask what you want to pay per month. Because once you start thinking that way, you've already lost. You stop thinking about the total cost and start rationalizing what you can handle right now. That's how a $35,000 vehicle turns into a $65,000 purchase over 7 years, and you don't even realize it. The truth is, this isn't affordability. It's enslavement packaged as convenience. You've been trained to think you're making a smart decision, when in reality, you're walking into a trap that will quietly bleed you dry month after month. Chapter 2. The Hidden Price Tag Nobody Sees. Most people think their car payment is the only thing that matters. If it fits into their monthly budget, they assume everything is fine. But that's a dangerous illusion. The car payment is just the first layer of the expense, the most visible one. Beneath it are several more costs, all draining your bank account without you noticing. Start with insurance. On average, that's between $150 and $200 every single month, more if you drive something new or luxury. Then add gas, another $200 to $300 a month, depending on your commute. Maintenance and repairs will cost you at least another $100. Oil changes, new tires, brake pads, unexpected breakdowns, it never ends. Add registration fees, taxes, and surprise dealer service costs, and your $750 car payment quickly becomes a $1,300 monthly burden. That's over $15,000 a year just to drive your car. $15,000 after tax dollars, meaning you might have to earn $20,000 or more before taxes just to cover that car alone. For the average American, that's an enormous portion of their income. If your take-home pay is around $4,000 a month, congratulations, you're working nearly 2 weeks out of every month just to keep your car on the road. People never add it up because they're not supposed to. The entire system depends on you not calculating the full cost. You're trained to focus only on the short-term payment and ignore the long-term reality. It's one of the most expensive blind spots in modern personal finance.
Chapter 3. The New Normal of Financial Delusion. What's most disturbing is how completely normal this has become. A few decades ago, people would have considered a $700 car payment absurd. Now, it's seen as standard. People proudly post their new cars on social media with captions about finally rewarding themselves, as if taking on a massive liability was some sort of achievement. They tell themselves it's about safety, reliability, comfort, or efficiency, but the real motivation usually runs deeper. It's about status, about appearing successful, about showing the world that they've made it, even when their bank account says otherwise. This mindset is toxic. It's what I call financial cosplay. People pretending to be rich while secretly living paycheck to paycheck. They're not driving symbols of success. They're driving proof of financial insecurity. And here's the ugly part. Once you lock yourself into those payments, you trap yourself. You can't quit your job. You can't take a risk. You can't invest. You can't even breathe financially because you owe money every single month just to maintain your illusion of wealth. That's not freedom. That's self-imposed financial imprisonment. Chapter 4. How the Dealers Play You. Car dealerships have perfected the art of manipulation. They don't make their real profits selling you the car. They make it by selling you the financing. That's where the money is. They know most customers will focus on the monthly payment, not the total price. So they stretch the loan. They add a year, then another. Soon, you're financing a car over 7 or even 8 years, something your grandparents would have considered financial suicide. But the dealer makes you feel good about it. They say things like, "We can get you into this one for just $799 a month." It sounds manageable. You nod, sign the papers, and drive off feeling like you got a great deal. But if you added it all up, you'd realize you're paying $65,000 for a car worth $35,000. You're not getting a deal. You're getting robbed slowly. Then they pile on the extras: extended warranties, tire protection, maintenance packages, and gap insurance, all sold with fear and urgency. Each one adds hundreds or thousands to the total, but since it only changes your payment by a few bucks, you agree. That's how the system wins. Dealers have one simple goal: make you comfortable with debt. As long as you don't think beyond that monthly number, they've already won. Chapter 5. The Inflation Excuse. Whenever you bring up how crazy car prices have become, someone will say, well, everything's more expensive now. And sure, inflation is real, but that's not the whole story. Over the last 5 years, the average new car price has skyrocketed more than 40%. Meanwhile, average household income has barely grown 10%. That's not inflation. That's corporate opportunism mixed with consumer delusion. Cars didn't suddenly become 40% better. They just became 40% more profitable for manufacturers and lenders. They knew people wouldn't stop buying because for too many, a car isn't transportation anymore. It's identity. People will cut groceries, delay retirement savings, and live in smaller homes before they'll give up their shiny vehicle. We now live in a world where it's completely normal for someone to owe more on their car than they have in their savings account. Some people owe more on their car than on their student loans. That's how far the madness has gone.